So does 3 years qualify as a tradition? Actually, I guess we said 2 years qualified as a tradition.
Yeah, once you're plus one.
Okay.
Once you're over one, I would say so.
So this is the third annual then.
Yeah.
The third annual, and the tradition continues.
It does. Tradition continues of another thank you to all of our listeners, subscribers, viewers, everybody within the About Beverages universe. This is just a thank you not only to you, but I guess kind of it turns into a thank you for us.
It does. It is a thank you for us.
Because thanks to all of you, we're going to try something that we normally would not get our hands on. That we would not even consider tasting just because of usually the dollar amount mostly. We would want to, but we would not be able to. And this is thanks to all of you. We have got another Scotch. Let's give it a shot. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Keith. And we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage that we're about today on this third annual Viewer Appreciation Podcast is the Jura 21-year Tide single malt Scotch.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a pause there, and we'll tell you why. So when we went, did our usual annual trip down to Total Wine, we talked with Scott, as always.
Yes.
Talked with Scott, got some faithful information, although this one we'd already kind of spied. Yes, I want to give us a little credit this year.
We had spotted this one, intrigued us from the beginning. And but yeah, he sets his watch, I think, or his calendar. By us showing up together. He knows it's around Christmas now. Yeah.
So anyway, so we went in there, we'd spotted this one. So on the bottle, as you can see, it says Tide and Time, which we thought initially that's what this was, but that was what the name of this was. But there is actually two different expressions of this 21-year single malt. One is called Tide and one is called Time. Right. Both done pretty much the same, except for the aging process is a little bit different. There's some different casks, which we'll talk about in just a minute. So anyway, we have the Tide version of this expression. So.
Yeah, because when we were initially looking at their website, we were combining all of the information into that it was one beverage, and it turns out that's not.
Yeah.
And this is this was the only bottle they had. So it's not like we chose.
Correct.
We just picked one. It was just one that was sitting in the cabinet. He said they'd just gotten it in that day, actually.
Yeah, this was actually bottled 2020. So this is actually bottled this year. So it just is 21 years this year. It's not something that's been around for a while or whatever else.
That's very cool.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the website, there's something we're going to pull right directly from the website is a little bit of information about the bottle. We could stumble through this and try and make it look like we knew something, but we're just going to read.
We're going to read it.
I'm honestly just going to read this little bit because I honestly really liked it. And it was kind of making me even more excited to try this. Like, I don't know if there could be another level of that, but it did.
Enhancing.
Yeah. So anyway, specifically about this version of the Tide and Time. In the vast wilderness of our island home, it's easy to lose track of time. But this is Tide. But anyway.
That's right.
But if you stop a moment in that beautiful wilderness and listen to the silence, the only sound to be heard soon helps you find it once more. The Tide. Like the whiskey in our casks, it's an irresistible reminder of time's power.
Sweet and smoky from 21 long years of maturation, first in American white oak ex-bourbon barrels, and further finessed with a spicy character from hand-selected virgin American white oak casks.
So there you go. I think that says a lot.
It tells you, what's going on here.
Yeah, but there's something we have not mentioned. Dollars.
I believe. Well, I don't remember the exact, but I know it was like 196.
Yeah,
196 something.
Yeah, so before tax, it was right around $200 for this bottle. Which initially, when we looked at it, we were excited about it, but we almost walked away because it didn't since it was so new, they didn't have the price tag for it. And there's a lot of very expensive things in that case.
Gosh, yes.
This is like on the lower end in that case. Yeah. And so we were looking, we're like, there's no tag. It's probably like $300-$400. And that's bottles someday we hope we can get to. Yeah. But as of right now, not so much. But anyway, we were lucky enough. We still asked, it's like, that one really interesting. And he was like, oh yeah. I was like, okay, that's it's still expensive, but that was one of the budgets we were involved in. So, so very excited. So it's another very cool looking box.
Ooh, it kind of looks like the game Operation in a way. We should need a big forceps to get in there and extract that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
There's the funny bone, and then there's the Scotch.
And then there's the Scotch bottle.
The Scotch bottle.
So yeah,
to extract.
Little opens there. Opens there. Wow. We've got the Scotch contained within. So let's go ahead. We have not opened this. We have not taken it out.
We've done what we usually do.
In fact, can I even get it out?
Extra. We had a little bit of Do we have a little whiskey? We had a little whiskey to just
We did.
kind of calibrate the palates here so that we are ready to try this. We have had a Jura Scotch in the past.
Yes.
The infamous, actually not infamous, the famous.
The infamous?
It's more than
It's
famous.
more than famous.
It's more than
That's
famous.
true. Yeah.
Scotch podcast that we did with Fitz several years ago. He actually had brought over a Jura Superstition. And they no longer make that expression.
They do not.
But it was one of 10 that we tried that day, and actually it got one of our higher ratings. And rereading the tasting notes, Andrew's like, "Damn it, I got to revisit some Jura."
Yeah.
So no, we knew we'd had some experience with Jura, just not a lot. So we were excited about that. Of course, we're also excited about AboutBeverages. Oh, you can't really see him though, so hold it there. The AboutBeverages glassware.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys are interested in any of the Glencairn glassware that we have, they're custom etched with our logo on it. They came out absolutely amazing. I even ordered some more for myself for the holidays. So definitely check those out. And we actually had a few people post up on Twitter as well that they had ordered them, which I thought was super cool. Yeah. So anyway, if you're interested in those, link right down below. They come right from the glass manufacturer, sell themselves so that we don't touch them in any way. Like they don't have to be double shipped and everything else. They go right to you. They've, like I said, again, they have come out fantastic. The shipping was very fast too. Same day for me, at least when I placed my order. And they're very, very well. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
From, I think I did mine on a Sunday and got it on a Thursday. So like 4 or 5 days. So
nice.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, as nice as the glassware is, this also looks very inviting.
Yeah. It's got a nice darker.
It's almost getting toward like an amber. There's like a honey amber kind of color or something.
A little bit of red in there. A little bit. A little reddish brown going on.
Very clear.
Very clear, but I do like once again, some of the things we looked at in that case. Remember, we were like, how can that be? How can that be?
Yeah, there was
some really light stuff in there. And that doesn't mean anything. Initially when you see that, you just think, Is that light color worth $250 or $300?
Yeah, there was one from, like I said, it was another one from who we'd liked before, the Duncan Taylor. It was one of theirs. I forget who it was. Was it Lafroig perhaps or something? Anyway, it was a 20-some-year aged Scotch, and it was, like I said, it looked like a light Chardonnay. Like if that even, it was, it was shocking. And even when we pointed it out to Scott as we were standing there, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not quite sure." Like he was even, so could just be again how they finish it, what oak they finish it in. Was it lots of different factors, but that one for some reason it all sights, smells, taste, like all that plays into your enjoyment of something. So
absolutely,
we did not pick it. So sorry, Duncan Taylor. Sorry for this year.
We did consider Duncan Taylor again though. So
we did. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that did not disappoint for me. I'm going to be honest.
Each time I go back, there's more.
Yes,
which is good. Because initially I got smoke, or not smoke necessarily, but maybe char.
Okay.
And I don't want to say burnt because it's not burnt, but like some extremely roasted nuts.
Okay.
There's some nuttiness there, but now I'm also getting a sweetness to it as well. Definitely a kind of honey sweet, and maybe a little bit of the sea spray, or a little bit of the little something that I can't quite put my finger on.
Okay. I'm definitely, I would say I'm getting caramel. Nuttiness really hits me, like roasted like hazelnuts or something like that, or maybe even a macadamia nut, because it seems like that's where I think some of the sweetness is coming from.
Yeah.
Definitely the smoky reminds me of like a hickory barbecue kind of thing. Like I'm getting kind of both of those. There's definitely like a hickory smoked, and then the sea spray is in there. This is a very complex aroma, but one that I was able to take a very like good inhale in there.
Right.
And obviously it's only 93 proof. I don't think we mentioned that earlier, so it's not overly like I said, it's not like super high in alcohol, so none of that is really covered. Just a lot of, for me, very great aromas. And like you said, every time you go back, I'm like, oh wait, now I'm getting a little more of the sweet and less of the smoke. Yeah, and we did just pour it. So like I said, I think that's kind of why we're also wanting to make sure we give it its full due. When that money is spent, you want to make sure that you give it a full opportunity to
reveal itself.
To reveal itself, exactly.
And that's very cool, actually, because that was initially just a couple of notes, and I'm like, there's that. Oh, there's that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah. People talk about like a long finish. This is almost like a long nose.
Developing an ever developing nose.
A many splendid nose. I'm not sure, but anyway, yes, it's I really like this aroma. Like it is a really good balance of things. And I'm happy that some of I was a little worried because it's the Time, that one uses like barrels that used to have peated smoked Scotch in them to kind of enhance that a little bit. And initially I was thinking, oh, that might have been the one I would have liked, but this so far smells like, I'm like, this is a good amount. Like I don't need, like I said, I may want more in the taste. We'll find out. But for right now, I think it's a very good balance.
It's a good start.
Yes. All right. Wow.
There's the heat though.
There is a little bit.
The heat's there.
There's some nice spice that comes back forward on the tongue. Yeah. That was actually what I noticed there after we had taken a couple sips. Was the finish is very smooth, but there's this wave. I know I'm playing right into the Tide thing, but there is literally a wave that comes back forward of those, like I said, that smokiness and the sweet and the nutty, like that just kind of comes back forward. That is absolutely fantastic.
But it does bring the peaty. The peaty qualities from the briny peaty qualities actually are there. And there's just a lot of great flavor going on there. I mean, it doesn't have like the linger, like I think, was it the Duncan Taylor or maybe it was even last year's that we were just like, oh my God, that finish just keeps going on.
The lingering
finish is a little shorter on this, but it's still
I would
nice.
Agree. Mm-hmm. It's very nice. It's very smooth, but there is something there, some substance.
It's got a good amount of all those things, a little smoky, a little sweet, a little the briny peatiness. There's just a lot of great flavors swirling around in there. That's quite good.
And even just keep going back to the nose, like I said, that keeps revealing like a little bit more each time, and I like it. Yeah, what is coming back forward, like I said, that part of the finish, like I said, not actually, on the swallow, but like I said, what comes back forward is just such an immense wall of really good balanced flavors. Yeah. Exactly what you were just speaking of.
A little bit, like I said, a little bit of like,
I definitely get some spice on the front of the tongue.
Spicy. Not sweet spicy, but just a little spice from that. But
not over, but again, also not like, sometimes you get spice almost if something is like acrid or something like that, or there can be like some weird, like front of the tongue. This is like a perfect amount of that. And the body on this, I think, is really good too. It's got it's not overly heavy, but there's a viscosity to it that's fantastic. Like when we take it, it's almost like a little bit of olive oil, like it's that kind of consistency or something. But that also really stood out to me.
So many. Right. You can certainly find good whiskeys at a multitude of price levels.
I love this conversation. It happens every year.
No. What I'm saying is what we have found now for 3 years in a row, when you step up that little bit with somebody who a company has been doing it for obviously a long time. Yeah. You do get more. Whether it's that you want to pay that extra money, that's not what I was going for. Actually, I was just saying once again, it is. The deliciousness is there. That is really good.
I'm trying to think what was the Duncan Taylor? Was that an 18 year?
Let's say maybe it was 18.
I think that was 18. 21. Yeah. The 2 years in a row now we've had 21 year, like I said, aged scotches. The other one was the Balvenie. And then this one, obviously. Yeah. It does become the question, which I always like discussing like a little bit. I think it's going to be the same answer, so we can probably get through this quicker, but that is the question. Like, would you rather have 3 or 4 bottles of something else or wait and have 1 bottle of this? Like, is that worth, having that around to enjoy that? And it just depends on, do you need a daily drinker? Well, then you can't buy this. Like that's, or most people can't. Like I said, I couldn't. So we'll start there. And wouldn't. Yeah. But once you get into that level of like, oh, I have a couple and then I have this special one. How much would you spend for that special one? And for me, like I said, if I had, and I think this even when I said previously, if I had gift cards and stuff like that, that people are usually generous with, I could easily see wanting to have a bottle of this because this is very good. Yeah. And I think this is even something that, now I'll walk that one back. I was going to say that like someone that normally doesn't either have much Scotch or like Scotch, I think there's a lot of things in here because it's not just the normal beat you over your head with some peat. And then, you're trying to look for what usually people like out of bourbon or whiskey in it. Right. I think this has a lot of the balance in it that I think is fantastic. Right. And I think this can even convert some people that normally don't like Scotch.
I think you'd have to be open to it though. Yeah.
You have to be open to still wanting the peat smoked, which is usually what people will turn off from. Right. If you can't stand that at all, Scotch is just never going to be for you. Right. But if you like that, like, sometimes I think if you're in that ballpark, at least I think this is definitely an option. Like if you find it at a local whiskey shop or something like that, where they're actually pouring it, or if you find it at a bar where you can get a shot of it just to try it at a lesser price point, I think it's worth giving it a shot.
Giving it a shot, of course.
I think it is definitely worth trying in that regard for sure. But like for myself, I would totally buy a bottle of this if I had funds. Like, because this is, I love going back to the aroma.
Yeah, it's just it's funny though. Then the intriguing thing is so we've picked 3 out of hundreds.
Of course.
Of types.
Yeah.
So
there's got to be some trash, right?
Well, are there, or is there just more good that you just should try, or do you find that one that you just love so much you stay with it? I mean, it's like that balance too. Do you keep exploring, or do you just be like, no, I'm good?
That's another good point too.
I've got 3 to choose from, and I'm just going to stay with those. Or that is quite complex, quite delicious, and obviously just a nice sipper. You wouldn't need to add anything to that. I don't think water.
No, please no. Please God no.
You don't need to do anything with that because it's like you said, it's not even 47%. So that's
exactly. It's like 93 proof or whatever. But that's the thing. I think if I'm buying it specifically for myself, I'm going to buy the thing that I know. If I'm going to spend that money, and I'm probably not going to do that like maybe once a year at most, if that, if I'm going to buy that special, I'm going to pick the one that I know I'm not going to go as much out on a limb, unless it's one that like obviously there's a lot of those whiskeys and stuff that are hard to acquire in the community that I may not have had, but it's like, well, I know these are supposed to be good. Well, then I'll buy that because I found it.
Right.
But if I'm buying something, I would probably tend towards something that I know as opposed to, like I said, especially since we have this podcast where we can try the things that we don't know.
That's true.
Kind of makes it work out well.
Listeners and
thanks to our listeners,
followers, viewers, everybody who's a part of this on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, however often you're here. We really, we do appreciate everything. And like I said, we're saying it thanks to you, but because of what you do, we are getting to try something like we normally would like to never be trying. So thank you again for all that you are, all the participation. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you still maybe are new to the podcast, maybe this is the first video you found from us on YouTube, we appreciate you stopping by. If you'd like to know, we do have a website as well, AboutBeverages.com. That is where you can come check out all of the things that we have done for over 12 years now. It started out with just audio, went to video eventually, and then being up on YouTube and everything else. So definitely check that out if you want everything we've ever done, including some articles here and there. If you want just the latest videos and things, YouTube, where you may have found us here, definitely subscribe. We would appreciate that. That does help out a lot. Click the little button. Click. It does not hurt anything, and then you'll know when we put up our latest videos, which usually come up most Thursdays now. We put up at least one. Every once in a while, we claim we may throw up a second, and we never do. So you get at least one a week, though. That's our promise to you.
That's yes.
And you can also always find us in audio form as well on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast. If you have a favorite podcasting app, just search for About Beverages. You will find us there, and take us along with you on your drive or your walk or your run or something like that. And that is always a good thing. I think there's something else, though.
Well, there's 3 things else.
Oh, there are 3 things.
Yeah,
there's
3
else's.
3 else's. 3 things else. The 3 pillars of social media, which are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter is the one we use the most often, and you can follow us on Twitter, and we'll let you know all kinds of things. One of the things we'll let you know is when we're going to go live, which we do most Thursday nights on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages. That's when we record our podcasts, interact with our subscribers and followers, viewers, and talk about all kinds of things. Beverages, of course, but sports pop up in there, the gaming world, which you actually are active in most days.
True.
And you also let people know what you're going to be doing and when you're going to be doing it. But like I said, follow us on Twitter, and that's the way to keep the most current and the most up to date with what's going on at About Beverages.
Or when we go live on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages.
Did I not say that?
I don't know. It's a good place, though, Thursday nights. But as we always say, whether we like it or not,
you should give it a shot. And thank you, everyone, for all that you have done.